We last examined the fleet of Lufthansa in April 2024. You may not think many changes could take place within a year and a half, but many of the subfleet quantities have gone up or down. A notable exception are the carriers A380s and 747s, as both these types have stayed the same. But for today's video, let's take a detailed look at the state of the German flag carriers fleet in late 2025. First, going through data listed by planespotters.net, we have the following types and quantities in the mainline fleet as of early November 2025. On the Airbus side, there are 35 A319-100s, 46 A320-200s, 30 A320neos, 17 A321-100s, 37 A321-200s, 18 A321neos, 7 A330-300s, 16 A340-300s, 6 A340-600s, 31 A350-900s, and finally 8 A380s. On the Boeing side, there are 8 747-400s, 19 747-8s, and 9 787-9s. We have to note that in addition to the mainline fleet, there are also 12 A319s and 23 CRJ900s operated by Lufthansa CityLine. If that's not complicated enough for you, there's the Lufthansa City Airlines subsidiary with 4 A319s and 10 A320neos. To be clear, that's Lufthansa City Airlines and not Lufthansa CityLine. Some airlines have their freighters under the same Air Operators Certificate, while it's a separate legal entity for others. In the case of Lufthansa, Lufthansa Cargo and its A321 converted freighters and 777Fs are separate. Of course, to continue with the confusion, the A321 P2Fs are operated by Lufthansa CityLine for Lufthansa Cargo. But getting back to the mainline fleet, we can note that the A320neo registered Delta Alpha India November Quebec is listed as parked and stored at Munich. With its last flight taking place on July 10, 2025, planespotters.net states that it was struck by a catering truck on this day, taking it out of service. It has been stored at Munich Airport ever since. Thankfully, this seems to be the only airframe out of service. But in terms of changes since April 2024, this is what appears to be different. On the Airbus side, there are 12 more A319s, 6 more A320-200s, 1 more A321neo, 3 fewer A330-300s, 1 fewer A340-300, 4 fewer A340-600s, and 8 more A350-900s. For Boeing, the only change is that the carrier has 4 additional 787-9s. With Airbus having ceased production of older generation A320 family aircraft, it's obvious that the additional A319s and A320-200s are the result of movements between subsidiaries. For the retirements, however, we can see that 2 A330-300s went to fellow Lufthansa Group carrier Brussels Airlines, while the third headed to Discover Airlines. Unlike the A330s, the retired A340s are not seeing service with other carriers. Instead, these have been flown to long-term storage at Teruel Airport in Spain, likely to be dismantled. And then, when it comes to undelivered aircraft, chaviation.com data lists the following types and quantities: 9 A320neos, 17 A321neos, 15 A350-1000s, 13 A350-900s, 21 777-9s, and finally 28 787-9s. On the topic of keeping older aircraft while the airline waits for newer jets, Lufthansa recently announced its third-quarter financial results for June to September of 2025. In this reporting, the carrier discussed delivery delays concerning the Airbus A350-1000 and Boeing 777-9. These delays are forcing Lufthansa to continue to operate its older wide-body aircraft. According to ADN, Lufthansa CEO Carsten Spohr said that the A340-600 will remain in service until mid-2026, while A380 operations will be extended for 5 years plus. Speaking about the A380, an airline spokesperson told Simple Flying, "It's a great aircraft, our customers love it. We are now upgrading the aircraft again with new all-access business class seats. We will definitely be seeing the A380 for a few more years, certainly into the next decade." According to Aviation Source News, Lufthansa had initially planned to retire its Airbus Super Jumbos in 2026, and so you can thank delivery delays at both Boeing and Airbus for the A380's prolonged service life at the airline. On the topic of the incoming A350-1000s, it was in December 2024 that the Lufthansa Group announced that it would be purchasing more of the Airbus long-haul aircraft, increasing its firm orders for A350-1000s from 10 to 15. The airline noted that these jets would be delivered between 2028 and 2030. The airline group emphasized in its media release that jets like the A350-1000 are slated to replace 4-engine aircraft types that are gradually being phased out, including the Boeing 747-400, Airbus A340-600 and Airbus A340-300 aircraft types. Now, we don't typically cover special liveries in our fleet videos, although we did mention some special Hello Kitty designs with the EVA Air fleet. However, there is at least one jet in the Lufthansa fleet that deserves some special attention: the 787-9 registered Delta Alpha Bravo Papa uniform. In September, Lufthansa Airlines revealed that it would be applying an iconic special livery on one of its 787s to mark its 100th anniversary in 2026. And so, starting in December, the new Boeing 787-9 will proudly carry the symbol of Lufthansa's unique identity around the world, the crane. As described by the airline, the special livery features a blue fuselage with a white crane hovering above it, its wings merging into the wings of the aircraft. In addition to the crane, the numerals 100 are integrated on the left side of the fuselage and the lettering 1926/2026 on the right side. A 100 logo is also painted on the underside of the aircraft. At the time of making this video, the 787 has yet to enter service, but we're sure this will happen in the coming weeks. While we're on the topic, other special liveries, or at least decals, include the 1500th 747 sticker applied to the rear fuselage of the 747-8 registered Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee Papa. Delta Alpha India Echo Quebec features a much more prominent 600th Airbus aircraft sticker across its side. And then, of course, there's the 747-8 registered Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee Tango, which sports a retro livery. There are also A340-300s, A319s and A320s sporting the Star Alliance livery. And so that's your rundown of the Lufthansa fleet in late 2025. Again, it's good news for fans of the A380 as these jets will be in the fleet for a few more years. A340-600 fans will also get to see these Quadjets in service longer than planned. The Boeing 787s are slowly trickling in, while it's anyone's guess as to when the 777-9s will actually enter service. That's because Boeing has been somewhat routinely announcing delays to the jet's certification. Not all of it is under Boeing control, however, and we're quite certain that the current US government shutdown will be slowing things down further as it impacts non-essential FAA operations. So, what do you think of the current state of Lufthansa? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.